What's up, everyone?
What's up,
Welcome
fellas?
back.
We back at it. Hey, opening night of the NBA, fellas. What do you guys think?
Disappointment. I think we have what two games on the bill.
Yeah,
Start off with what the Rockets and the Thunder.
great
Right off
game, but
right off
you know,
the gate. Right, first game I watched out there. I thought both teams were on point from from the get go.
yeah,
Uh,
double overtime. Wow, double overtime
it
game.
was real close all the way through. The teams look good. Both teams were good.
Yeah,
And I thought, wasn't sure about the Rockets, with them, putting together kind of a newer squad, this go around, but I was impressed with the Rockets. Don't know if they're gonna be able to keep that up for 82 games, but
yeah,
it
yeah,
was, with that big lineup of, with Sengun, Katie,
yeah.
even Thompson might have been the smallest one
Six
at
seven.
like
Yeah,
six
he's
seven
a short. Yeah,
on on the court. Um, but they
yeah,
started Steven Adams, right?
yeah. KD,
Uh, on there. It just seemed like they
Smith.
were
Yeah,
ready to go from the get go, and probably playing the defending champs probably had a little motivation out there. That was their ring ceremony, right? That was like
yeah,
Casey's
yep. Ring
big
ceremony.
ceremony.
KD's first game as a Rocket. So I think that was a great game. I mean, both teams can come out of the West this year,
Yeah.
in my opinion. They're good enough to probably the two most talented teams in the West or the league. Rockets fell short, though. I was, of course, wanted to see the Rockets uh, get a win with KD, but
Hmm.
it was a great game. A double overtime.
Why do you think they lost?
I mean, it was when it's a double overtime loss, and then there was the difference was a point. So it was a lot of just small little details. They could have easily won that game. I don't think KD had his best game, even though he had a pretty good game statistically. But you could tell it wasn't his best game. Shangun went crazy, 38 points, stat sheet stuffer. Shea was going crazy. SGA is doing his thing. He kept them. He won the game for him. But again, if the Rockets can stay healthy, man, I'm telling you, they have a real shot at winning this whole thing, in my opinion. Um, yeah. So
Saw two complete teams there. They seemed
complete the
complete.
best, the best two teams in the West, in my opinion.
Offensively, defensively, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna take. So I was
Yeah.
impressed. So
Impressive.
I was a little disheartened that it was that close. That the West is tough.
Which is not good news for the Lakers, is basically
Nope.
what we're saying.
No, no. No, you don't see me wearing my. Well, I don't have a Luka jersey yet. Like, I have a throwback Magic jersey. I would have
Oh,
worn,
nice.
tonight, but
Speaking of the
we'll
Lakers, they
we'll see.
they lost. They lost their home opener, season opener.
It was it was a sloppy game. That game was sloppy for what
Yeah.
21 turnovers for the Lakers, 19 turnovers for the Warriors. It just seemed like the Warriors kind of knew what they wanted to do and did it, even though there
Yeah.
was some rust out there. The Lakers just didn't look like they knew what they were gonna do. So it was basically AR and Luka
Yeah.
against the entire
The Lakers
Warrior team.
didn't. The Lakers didn't show me anything. Didn't prove me wrong. Everything I expected the Lakers to do, they did and didn't do everything expected, and they lost. It's just they don't. I don't think they're that good of a team, to be honest with you. But of
Did they,
course,
did
I'd
they
love.
even look like they had a game plan, or how did it look like?
I mean, Luca's gonna. No one could guard Luca. That's just what it is. But is that going to translate to victories? I don't, or a championship. I mean, I don't think so. I don't see it. Yeah, they're going to win a lot. They're going to win a lot of games. But
What did he
just
finish tonight with, Luca?
uh, I got
He's
to
at
check the stats on that.
37, I think.
But yeah, he He's
like
unguardable.
37, and then Austin Reeves had like 26 or 29,
Luka could get
and
Luka can get any shot he wants anytime. He's that good. But defensively, they don't have it. Personnel, they're not deep. It's just going to get worse when LeBron comes back, in my opinion. No hate, no shade, but
well, at the
I,
same time, right? Oh, here, I'll put it this way: with you know the Laker fans, a lot of Laker fans are waiting for the LeBron era to go away, right? With the Lakers out there, but last night's game it shows you, you know, if you don't have the right personnel, a supporting cast out there, what would happen, you know? And I think if LeBron was there last night, I'm not saying they would have won, but I think they could have made it a little closer out there. They just got run off the court in that third quarter,
yeah.
right? It was a 2-point game at halftime, and then it seemed like, out of what, the 12 that dressed, for that game, only 2 of them came out after halftime and really played. You know, I think there was the Warriors bench outscored the Laker bench by like 30 something points out there. That's not going to cut it in these these days. And yeah,
And
it was hard to
I think
watch.
I even think the Warriors are going to struggle this season. So, I mean, if the Lakers can't, win at home in the season opener against, I think over the hill Warriors team, it's going to be a long season for them, in my opinion. Hey, but speaking of openers and just the beginning of the NBA season, one highlight is MJ, the GOAT, Michael Jordan. He's back. And so he's back on NBC, right? Right?
It was
It's NBC.
NBC.
He's back on NBC. And so they had a little opening thing for the, league opening this season. And MJ spoke. He's a contributor now, with the NBA and NBC. But just gems, man. Just, he told a story about like, uh, he got asked about, you know, do you miss the game and do you still play? He said he hasn't touched the ball in a long time. He doesn't even have a basketball hoop around in his house. So for a reason, because he just he's so competitive. He still wants to play if it's around. But he told a story about at the Ryder Cup, he had he had rented a house to stay in, and the owner of the house basically he had grandkids, and he said he had a I think a hoop in the backyard, I believe.
Hmm.
The owner said, "Hey, Jordan, hit a free throw." And because he hadn't touched the ball in so long, he said he hasn't been that nervous in such a long time. And he said he was nervous because the grandkids were looking at him like, he's MJ because of the stories that the parents and the grandparents had told them about who this guy is. So they're like, wow, he's about to can he hit the free throw? And MJ was so nervous, he said, because he hadn't touched the ball in so long that he didn't know if he could hit this. And then but the cool part was when he got asked, "Would you hit it, right?" He said, "Absolutely." Oh God! He said, "Did you?" I think he got asked if he
You
if he
switched.
switched it,
Yeah.
and he said, "Absolutely." And that's just so MJ right there, man. That was like, anything he says for me is just wow. Like I'm all ears, man. I want to know. Keep talking.
Well,
Did
because
you watch it? Did you guys watch that?
yeah, yeah.
The second?
I mean, I think
Mhm.
it's always gems because when we hear Jordan or Kobe talk about how they think, all we've watched is how they played. So to hear that, what their mind is thinking, it's kind of, especially if you're a big fan of theirs, it's an it's an eye opener, right? Because I think he's so competitive. Like he does not. I don't think he just doesn't want to disappoint the kid. It's almost losing. If he misses that shot, he's gonna lose, right?
Man,
Lose the credibility.
100%.
So as a player, you can imagine the kind of drive that he has multiplied. Like that he cannot fail. Like he does not want to lose at all. Like, and he has that ability. Being younger, he's gonna do all that he can to prevent that. So, and I think he was kind of worried because he knows he doesn't have, he's old. And so he feels like that's going to take away, even though you have the will and the drive, but if you're physically incapable, it's
Yeah.
always going to, create a different outcome. So it's like a really eye opener to his psyche,
Oh, I think like, be having been in professional sports for as long as he has, and I can relate to this to some level, like instinctively, you're so competitive. It's a part of who you are, whether you realize it or not. Just being challenged on the spot, just like that, those instincts kicked in like right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're nervous, you're challenged, but you're like, I've been here before, and he knocked down a shot. You know what I mean? Like he thrives on that. That's a part of his DNA, and I definitely relate to that. Like, I haven't touched the ball in a long time too. But if you threw me a ball right now, gave me a ball, said go hit the shot, and I'm like, I just revert back to that
Instant.
mindset of like, "Oh, I got this. Like, I'm gonna knock it down. You know what I mean? Whether I make it or not, but your mind just goes to a certain place. So just like this, it's part of the training. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good
it'd be
interview.
real interesting to see his, you know, more of his insights,
Oh,
as
I'm
the
gonna be
season
watching
progresses,
everything.
which
Well, is it a
you haven't really
thing?
seen much of that. He's been out of that kind of spotlight, other than the with the special that that he had. Well, I can't I can't even remember what the title was. The Netflix. Oh,
Oh,
on
you're
The
talking
Last Dance?
about the Last Dance.
The Last Dance. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like the Last Dance. Other than that, you don't see the insights
I
through him,
hope
or breaking down
I really
games.
hope I really hope like by him contributing now back to the NBC and NBA, but I hope he's really transparent. I hope he doesn't hold anything back, I think everyone really just wants to kind of pick his brain, understand what his thoughts are, honestly, genuinely. I hope he's not like, keeping everything politically correct. I hope he just kind of just says how he feels.
Well, I
That's
think
why that's why we listen to him, because we really want to hear the honest truth.
I mean, I think you can't argue that the NBA brand has been teetering. I mean, just based on the viewers, the views, the viewerships on the past years, the final, and everything like that. Like, it's not how it used to be. It used to dominate. That was probably the best sport out there. But there's less superstars now. The personality. I mean, I think bringing Jordan back out there shows that they recognize they need that superstar figure to help. I think rehabilitate the NBA. I mean, because it kind of brings nostalgia, right? Reminds people of how much we loved NBA and watching Jordan and stuff, but they have a tough job ahead of them because I mean, you guys are fans of certain teams, but overall the NBA is not as exciting.
Right.
There's no storylines, there's no rivalries as much as like before.
Right.
Some of them are predictable. Everybody's getting injured, so it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just interesting to see him back again. It brought my interest up, just to see him.
I actually love what he said about he has an obligation to give back he used the word pay it forward, to give back to basketball and the new generation of people following the game and you know in the environment. Like I definitely that hit home for me. Everything that I do, everything that I'm doing, and what kind of pulled me back into the game of basketball is for that reason. You kind of you have that obligation, whether you want to or not. It's on you. And what are you going to do with that? How are you going to give back to the next generation or give back to the sport, give back to the game? I mean, this beautiful game that we all love and, have been drawn to since we were kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I love what he said about that, man. That really was dope.
Right. IBL, right? some rule changes for 2026 on the
Yeah.
horizon here. What are
So
your thoughts?
the new rule changes are 3 imports per team. So they took out the heritage and the naturalized player category. Now you can still have a heritage or a naturalized player, but they would be counted as an import. So that structure is different. And also, all 3 imports could be on the floor at the same time. Whereas last year, you're only allowed 2 on the floor at a time. So that structure has changed. They went from 14 teams to 11 now, with Setzer Muda and Bandung Prawira merging, and then the loss of Bali United and uh, Bima Jogja. Like that, yeah, it's a different dynamic now. I think I personally don't like that they took out the heritage, because I think that's a very important element to Indonesian basketball. One, because these heritage players they have Indonesian blood, so I think they should be considered as a local. They shouldn't be in their own category. They should be local, because it's good for both sides of it. It's good for the Indonesian basketball side to have these overseas heritage players represent them, and be a reflection of Indonesian basketball. And it's good for the heritage players all across the world to identify with their heritage, and wanting to have that sense of pride, and uh, to be able to represent the country, and you could do so much with that, even on the marketing side. But and as far as the naturalized player, I agree there shouldn't be a naturalized player category. I don't know of any league in the world that um, has that slot for a professional league in that country. It doesn't translate to anything. It's different than the heritage category. Like I said, it's a sense of pride. It works both ways, benefit wise, from recruiting to uh, inspiring the local players. There's a connection there. So it's I think they need to put that back and just change that category entirely, and just have any heritage player with Indonesian blood as a local. That's my opinion. So they need to hopefully they change that in the future, man, because that's huge. That's huge for the benefit of Indonesian basketball.
You think it'll be more exciting though? I mean, why do you think they made those changes?
Well, I understand they have their own reasons, but I just don't think they understand enough on how to benefit off this. And I'm not talking about like a financial benefit. I'm talking about like, I don't think they see a vision that they can understand that it's going to benefit the league and the image and the Indonesian basketball level. I don't think they're at that place to understand all that. You know what I mean?
Do you think
They
the
don't.
game will move faster, or what do you think? Is it because now if you have extra import, is it faster? Is it high flying? I mean, would it make that kind of a difference when you as
I
a
mean,
fan, a viewer?
I think there's some benefits to having 3 imports, if that's what you're asking, the 3 imports. I think there's some benefits to it. It depends. It depends player on each player, each local player. You know what I mean? And import. If you got good quality imports that is also willing to help the program, and the player, teach the players, the locals, and kind of increase their level. Yes, that's a benefit for sure. So what I mean is, depending on the import, if an import is there and they're like, hey, this is how you do things. They're kind of semi coaches on the floor, and skill developers on the floor. You know what I mean? If they have that mindset as well, then yeah, the players, the locals are going to grow, get better, improve. The organization's going to improve. But on the flip side of that, if you got imports that are like, I'm just here just to get my own thing going, like go for 40 a game, 30 a game, and not really be involved in the day to day, improvement of the local players, then that's not going to help. That's not going to help the country. You know what I mean? So you're going to get both of those things.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen it. So it really just depends, to be honest with you.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. I mean, I think it should just be two import rule, not three. It should just be two. And then a heritage should be counted as local. That's it. And you keep it at that. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, makes sense.
and then for the heritage players, there's going to be more and more and more heritage players as the years go by. It just, I know the demographic of heritage players here in the US, and I know that they're going to be an asset to Indonesia in the near future and beyond. So there has to be a channel for that. It's just going to increase the level of basketball and popularity. But they got to maximize that. Let's talk politics. Now, I'm sure.
So, hey, I think, well, something that happened to me, for this week, like I wanted to get into, um, a little bit of the health and fitness, kind of on this talk. Something I've been delving about is intermittent fasting.
Mm,
So we had a little chat, in the pregame here about AI and
Yeah.
Chat GPT and so forth. So,
mm,
uh, in the old days, I'd be flipping, a magazine or something and look for, tips and a book on how to begin.
mhm.
But yet AI has created me an intermittent fasting plan, you know,
Really?
with including a meal plan.
Nice.
Don't know if I'm gonna go the meal plan route just yet on it, but yeah, I started that on Monday. Uh,
Nice.
basically, eating um, between 10, 10 and 6
Okay.
every day, and then fasting um, from 6 to 10 o'clock the next day. I think it's
Nice.
like an
Have
18.
you ever done this?
Thing.
Have you ever done this before, Ray?
I haven't. So I can
Okay.
tell you, you know, I was hungry AF the first day,
Ye-
you
Okay.
know,
Okay.
you know, of of it, and that's probably, one of the things I'm used to eating, right now, whenever, I felt like it, right? Whenever you're hungry,
Yeah.
have that snack out there. But as you get older, your body changes out there, you know, definitely I probably had the fastest metabolism of anyone around growing up.
Mm.
That has come to a screeching halt like over the last 3 years. Maybe we'll blame that on COVID that got that started. But you know, just what are
So
your guys's
I I've been
kind of goals in health and fitness here?
no, I've done intermittent fasting. I started probably around 2019, 2009, middle of 2019. Um so my schedule, my 5-day weekly schedule, Monday to Friday, is I eat in the evening time. So anywhere from 4:30 to 5, sometimes 6 is my first meal. Right. So that'll be my first meal, um, first and only meal. Okay. Uh, in the morning, sometimes have a tea or a coffee, maybe. I've cut back on coffee, but I'm just, giving you a rundown of my Monday to Friday. Of course, I'd have water, but I would have my first one and only meal in the evening time. So I'm looking at a 24, 23, 22, 24 hour uh, fast every day. Now my cheats are Saturday and Sunday, but usually Sunday I'm still having just one meal. But yeah, my Saturday is my cheat day, and it's what I can tell you is it's worked for me. Inflammation is gone. That eliminated all the inflammation I had. Puffiness. Now, one thing that I do have a problem with, because I do have a sweet tooth. Okay, so when I do have my meal, I like to have something sweet afterwards, and I've done a lot better with that throughout my life. But I'll have I don't know, like a cookie or something, right? And the meals that I do have though are so I usually cook sweet potato, Brussels sprouts, zucchini, and grass-fed ground beef, and I'll throw that in the oven. So that's my meal prep for my Monday to Friday.
Five
And then
meals.
what's that?
5 meals for the 5 meals for the for 5 days.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And that'll last me over 5 meals, so that'll go over till the next Monday as well. Next Monday, sometimes Tuesday, depending on how much I make. And then sometimes, a lot of times, I'll do some eggs with that too. So, when I warm it up, I'll fry up some eggs, sometimes scramble those eggs or sunny side up, a little runny, and then that's my meal, man.
You don't have my
That's my
pasapi
matasapi,
egg.
yeah. That's really worked for me. I'm telling you. You don't. I've been doing that for years, so I don't really crave. And then when I do cheat on weekends, I don't really gain much because my body's just so used to, you know, uh,
So how's your energy level when it comes
amazing.
to that? Now,
You
and
guys, you could ask Drew. He knows my energy levels. I can't stay still. My energy levels are great.
yeah,
And I
and do
think you're
you
sleeping
think
better, right, bro?
What's that?
You're sleeping better too, right?
Well, yeah. Well, sleep is something different because I've never been a great sleeper. Like, I just have never been a great sleeper. I think that has something to do with like uh my sports background. I don't think a lot of athletes sleep well. It's just most of the athletes I know and have talked to have insomnia. It's just a thing. Don't ask me. I don't know what the science of that is, but that's just the way it is. Now, I did also cut. I used to drink a little bit. Wine, beer. I used to drink more than a little bit. I cut that off January this this year. So now that has contributed to a lot of other things too. I've just clarity wise, my skin just got a lot better. So yeah, that's something I did this past year.
that's
There's a lot of
awesome?
sugar and alcohol
Yeah.
too. So what's that?
Is that right?
Hi, Drew.
No, I've done intermittent fasting too, but I usually eat at 12 and then stop around 6. So I think that's 18 hours. I mean, how many hours are you planning, Ray? Is that
So I think it's an 18/6. So my window of eating is it's 6 hours, and then
starting?
18, yeah, and then starting at 10 in the morning.
Okay.
So basically, what the plan that it gave me, right? 10 in the morning, you can have your
Finishing
breakfast.
at 4.
Right? You can have your lunch at about 1. You can have dinner. You know, finish up dinner
Early
no
dinner.
later than 6.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
which I'm, again, this is day 3, so uh, I don't have any markers other than I did weigh myself, Sunday morning, and then I weighed myself. I've been weighing myself every morning, and you know, I'm down 2 pounds just
Nice. Nice.
So
in
you're doing
in
16-hour
day 3.
fasting then.
Yeah, that's what it is. I think it's the 16. Is it 16/8 or 18/6?
Yeah, I think you're doing
It's on my
16
phone.
because if I do 12 to 6, that's 6 hours. I do 18 hours fasting.
That's good.
No, and it's easy for me because most of the time you're sleeping, right? Once you're done with 6, the rest of the hours are probably in bed. And then you wake up, you don't have that hunger as much. And so once you start getting hungry, it's already time to eat, which is at noon. But just some pointers, like you got to recognize what kind of lifestyle you have. Because if a lot of times you eat dinner with your family, you want to kind of arrange that time to, meet that social time.
Yeah.
Because then it gets frustrating because like everybody's eating and you're just staring at them. Because it's happened to me, like,
Worse.
and you miss that. You miss like, oh, I'm
Then
supposed
you
to be
make yourself a plate also, and
right. Or you make them feel weird too, or you start losing that connection with them because
And if you're in an environment with a lot of Indos, it's over with.
oh,
Like,
forget it.
it's like, hey, you got to eat, man.
Well,
And,
socializing again, it's gonna be challenging no matter what. But within the family, you don't want to kind of disrupt your old routines because sometimes you watch a show with your son, maybe or a game, and then you guys are snacking together. You don't want to eliminate that kind of connection and experience. So you got to factor that in. If that's not an issue, and it changes as they get older because they're so busy too. Like when the boys are already a junior or senior, I don't even see them. Like they bring their food to their room and eat and do homework and stuff like that. So things will change. So as long as it doesn't affect your social um, life, because it can make an impact uh, in time. And then you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm doing it for myself, my health. And then they're like, okay, well, I want to eat with you and I'm spend
Yeah, of
time. But then you're like, oh no, my health is more important. It just kind of throws that little
course.
psychological
No,
effect.
absolutely. Your environment kind of not dictates, but it kind of influences your eating habits too, you know?
Yeah, I
And
think
also,
for us, it brings some better structure in our household, at least that we're not eating at 8 o'clock at night or starting dinner at seven.
Yeah.
You know, at 7 p.m. Early on, it seemed like this is kind of how I used to eat, like 20, 30 years ago. I would never eat breakfast. I would eat lunch, but when I ate dinner, I would eat dinner kind of between four and five.
Yeah.
Five, you know, and I was slim,
Yeah.
and I have never
Another
been this.
another thing is another thing too is I moderate my gluten and rice intake. I actually don't eat much rice, and I haven't been for years. I don't eat much rice. Um, of course, every now and then, we'll go get some Thai food or something, right? Or Japanese, but it's not often that like during the week I don't eat rice. I try to limit my breads, my pastas, my noodles, things like that. So yeah, I'm sweet potato, man. That's my carb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, Ray, I know you're starting out too, but another thing that to consider is you've heard of autophagy, right? Autophagy is
yeah,
when your body starts going into a repair mode. It begins recycling old or damaged cells and reducing
Yeah.
inflammation. So that usually starts, according to some people that I've listened to, is
It's ketosis.
at 17 hour.
Yes.
And that's why I chose 18 because I want to make sure I get beyond that. So if you're a little bit below that, you might not reach that autophagy, and that's where you get most of the benefits.
True. Facts.
So just yeah, maybe if you can stretch it out a little bit longer where it's
Well, it's
man,
gradual.
put
It's
out
gradual.
lapa.
Work your way up.
your stomach's already growling. Um but if
And this is go ahead.
no, I said just waiting one more hour will give you even such more benefit. Like it may be worth it, if that's your true intention, or if you're doing it just for that orderly, kind of disciplined style lifestyle, that's fine too. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying consider it, maybe down the line as you get used to it.
In the beginning, that hour feels like a week.
Yeah, yeah. Especially if you love
Yeah,
to eat,
like
that's for sure.
I can't wait. I mean, it's like,
Your
Right.
but
stomach
You
is
already started thinking
growling.
about it.
rare, and when I I was eating breakfast like consistently out there. I was eating breakfast because I felt like I needed that to have mental clarity, like in in the morning. Like my job was very mentally taxing,
Demanding.
you know, uh, demanding uh, out there. I would make sure I'm fueled up, and have my coffee. So that's really what now I have a little bit more flexibility. Being retired up there, that I thought, hey, there's no you know e- excuses, anymore. And what I thought was giving me mental clarity was doing maybe some other things in my you know to my physiological state out there, because the body doesn't process things the way that it
I
used
mean,
to.
you look at like the caveman days, right? Like they're eating once a day on a good regular day. They're hunting for it, right? Like they're not eating 3 meals a day. And you see how ripped they were, right? I mean, I think that's what our bodies are designed to look like naturally. I don't think we're designed to eat 3 meals a day. I
No,
think that's
absolutely. Yeah.
stretching it. And then, the 3 meal a day lie and then what we're actually consuming in these meals, is just so harmful for your body. And I think that's a problem you see with, society today. Everyone's diabetic, overweight, got inflammation. It's bad.
Yeah. No, but it's good. I mean, I'm proud of you, man. It's a good
I
start.
know.
Well,
R-
we'll root
I
for
see
you.
Ray, you're ready for that summer body, man.
You know, summer 2028 will be right around the corner. So I gotta get ready for it. No, I mean I used to be really active in there, and then especially now that I'm retired, and
Ray, you should document it. So you just started. You should document it. Like, like take a picture of yourself every couple weeks or every month. And you know what I mean? That'd be cool.
oh yeah, no, definitely.
Post it
I think I
online.
It's
wear my
that's
old clothes.
inspirational, man. I'm telling you, those things are inspirational.
You know,
Yeah. I'm telling you, man. Hey, the health kick is the health wave is in right now, guys. I mean, I think I told you guys last week. There's a stat I saw not too long ago about how Vegas is losing money. They've lost like all their percentages are down this past year, and that trend has been going for the past couple years. And then they're relating that to no one is consuming alcohol anymore, and they're trying to figure out why. And then the studies are showing that it's the health kick. People are really concerned about their health, and they're really wanting to go to the gym and lose weight, intermittent fasting. So it's all connected, man. The health wave is
And they're
is
also
really
they also raised the price like 300%, so that doesn't help too.
that's a factor too. But it ended up backfiring on them.
It did. It did.
no
All the
more free
tax.
parking
Yep.
out there. So
They're losing.
I'll go where the parking is topped
Right.
and free at
Yeah,
that point. That
They're
yeah,
charging
but
like $16 coffees. It's
but
Dunkin'
even
Donuts.
they took the study like on a national level too about the alcohol. Like it's a national thing, not
No,
just
no,
Vegas.
definitely. Health has been in the forefront, especially with since COVID and stuff. It's definitely it's a
So I'm
business
proud.
too.
Yeah,
yeah,
no, it's a great business. Yeah, it's kind of the business we're in. It's all connected.
Sports and
yeah,
health. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely connected.
yeah. So get get and remain active out there, and that's what I'm trying to show my son. I mean, it was kind of eye opening. Like my son plays baseball, right? So he was on the junior high team, last year, and he's always been really fast. So he's fast, and you had some other kids that on the team. They were athletic, but they were slow as heck
Really.
running. I couldn't like believe it. Like they didn't know how to run. Why are you running why are you running like you have a piano on your back? And you're 13, 14
Right.
years old uh, out there. Yeah, that was something that was kind of eye opening where if kids don't go out and play,
No, they don't.
you know,
It's been a
they're
huge generational shift.
They're on
eh,
this right here all
Yeah.
day.
anymore. Yeah, so kind of gotta
No,
gotta make a concerted effort to
Yeah.
get the
and
young ones.
that's what you and Mario is saying too. Like it is. I mean, we're in the business of kind of encouraging. I mean, sports. I mean, um, you don't have to be a professional. Like Mario, to make it a lifestyle benefit for you and your family. I mean, it's good that I mean sometimes people go hardcore with like sports and they have to spend so much money, but in reality, that lifestyle choice can do a lot for you. And so you have a lot of years still ahead to play with your son. So it's good that you're
Yeah,
starting
and then
this.
I you don't have to be super hard on yourself either. You can still enjoy, and it's just a balance, right? So, like, if you got a sweet tooth, if you like to eat some not so healthy things, but just in moderation, as long as you've already started the awareness of like, all right, I need to kind of get healthier. I think you're on the right track. You don't have to, go from one extreme to the other, right? Right. Like overnight, gradually get into that. And then once you're at a certain place with your health, you don't even crave the crazy stuff anymore. You know what I mean? You don't
Mhm.
crave those things. Like I don't crave rice. I still crave a brownie every now and then, but I don't crave the pastas, the breads. I don't crave those things. Pizza. I love pizza. Growing up, I could take down a whole pizza, but I don't eat that anymore, really. And when I do, they have healthy options for pizza now. They got gluten-free pizza. Like Mod has gluten-free pizza.
Call it cauliflower crust.
Well, you
There,
you could do the cauliflower crust, or you could do the just gluten-free crust, and you can't even tell the difference anymore. That's it's that good.
Well, I think you should also connect it with the timing, politically. It's great that we have a, Secretary of Health that is,
Agree.
identifying all these issues. And if we can remove,
Exposing a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. And so this is maybe the best timing too. I mean, both me and Ray has had, our medical issues. So it's kind of an eye opener, so wake up call for us to be more aware. And with again, maybe AI can also contribute to a longer life. I mean, AI is helping Ray right now, setting up that program. AI can maybe, again, diagnose and prevent and plan and do other things that help our health. Hopefully we could live longer for our family.
Amen, guys. Amen. Amen to that, man.